It's fucking horse! Holy shit, the Street Fighter movie! Believe it or not, in 1994, this was a smart idea. Street Fighter is probably the most popular video game of all time. People play the shit out of it and love watching people play the shit out of it. There's even huge tournaments for it now. So of course some studio was gonna pick it up and try to make money off this pop culture phenomenon. Only one problem. How do you take this and turn it into this? Let's see how they did it. This is Street Fighter. So our movie wastes no time setting up the plot, as our villain M. Bison, played by Raul Julia, is slowly taking over the world with his army of Shadaloo, unless the Allied Nations gives him
an astonishing $20 billion.
But Bison has one little problem. Colonel Guile, played by Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Television, you sick son of a bitch. So look at this.
So after that douchebag move, Bison basically tells him to deliver the money in 3 days or all the hostages die. I do have to say that Raul Julia is a blast to watching this, because he's just having so much fun with the role.
You came from across the world to fight me, soldier.
Stand clear.
Now is your chance. Pathetic.
Classic over-the-top villain. Meanwhile, Ken and Ryu are doing an arms deal with the dreaded Sagat. Now I'll give credit to the movie for actually having the characters from the game in it, but none of them fucking look like it. So Ken and Ryu get busted for selling them fake weapons, and the punishment is Ryu must now fight Vega. And just when you think you're about to see a fight scene in a Street Fighter movie, Van Damme busts in with a tank and ruins it for everyone, especially us.
You're all under arrest.
Fuck you, Van Damme. You just can't arrest every single person there. Who the fuck do you think you are? Well, apparently he's the military leader of the Allied Nations, which is every single military in the world. So he is the leader of every single military in the world?
The River Delta region.
Whoa, what the fuck?
Any other new business?
Did they just throw that in the movie so he could bust out a one-liner? Horse! Meanwhile, in jail, Ken and Ryu have some unfinished business with Vega and Sagat. Impressed by their fighting skills, Van Damme decides that he's going to use them to his advantage. Back at Bison's, we get this weird subplot on how Guile's best friend is being turned into Blanca? Wasn't Blanca from Brazil? Not the United States? I love how they're just making this shit up. So Ken and Ryu decide that they're going to join forces with Guile, and they stage a breakout with Sagat and Vega. So the breakout is a complete success, and Ken totally wastes Guile. We then get another subplot where Chun-Li, Balrog, and E. Honda all have personal vendettas against Bison, so they're posing as a news crew. Isn't that enough subplots already? We're like counting up to 4 at this point. Chun-Li sneaks into the morgue to find Guile for some reason, just to only find out that he's actually still alive. What was the point in faking your own death? I mean, you want Bison to think you're dead, but why? It doesn't give him an advantage, and the movie just doesn't explain it. And moves on. So Ken and Ryu are enjoying a nice meal while Sagat and Bison are trading weapons for cash. But Sagat has quite a surprise on his hands. It happens to be Bison dollars, and then we get one of the most ridiculous lines in the movie.
Every bison dollar will be worth 5 British pounds. But that is the exchange rate the Bank of England will set once I've kidnapped their queen.
What? That's not how the economy works. You can't just kidnap someone's queen and your dollar goes up. Exchange rates are done by the trades of goods and services, you dumbass! Well, the news crew happens to be at the exact same party, which is weird because they can find Bison but Guile can't. Chun-Li and company send this truck rolling down the hill with explosives to kill everyone, but it fucking fails and they just get busted. It seems like every character's plans in this movie are ass. Back at the Allied Nations, Guile finally has a plan to invade Bison, but he's interrupted when the Allied Nations decide that they're gonna give in to Bison's demands. He ends up giving this really ass speech to his troops about following him, and they all decide that they're all going to ignore a direct order. That's right, Van Damme just got every military soldier in the world to ignore a direct order. Horse! Back at Bison's, Chun-Li is telling the tragic tale of how he ruined her childhood, killed her family, raped her village, and took all her land. And her whole life, her whole entire life, she just wanted to know why. And how does he respond?
I'm sorry. I don't remember any of it.
You don't remember?
For you, the day Bison graced your village was the most important day of your life. But for me, it was Tuesday.
That is gotta be the biggest burn ever. What a hilarious villain. She pours her heart out and that's what he says?
It was Tuesday.
So as Guile and his merry band of assholes are on their way to save everybody, the movie tries to make this dramatic turn of Guile and his best friend Blanca. It tries to go all deep and emotional in how much Guile misses him. This is bullshit! You can't just throw this in the movie all of a sudden and expect us to care about it! Bison's like, there's no fucking way he's coming here, and starts exploding mines using an arcade stick. What the shit is that? What a random throwback to the video game! One of the mines destroys it and...
Game over!
Intruder destroyed. Intruder.
You know what's horse about that line? Only a villain of a video game movie would ever say that line. Well, it doesn't matter because they survive the blast, somehow, and sneak into Bison's lair and start rescuing the hostages. But before he can, Bison tells all of them that he's gonna set a beast upon them. The beast known as Blanca. Yeah! What the hell kind of kick was that? Yeah! That has got to be the most ridiculous kick in movie history. From this point on, it's basically just every Street Fighter from this movie is now fighting each other. E Honda and Zangief are fighting, Ryu and Vega, Sagat and Ken, Chun-Li and Balrog are fighting random soldiers. Guess they ran out of Street Fighters. All while Guile and Bison are having their final confrontation, which gets totally out of control. Guile pretty much dominates and just kicks the fucking shit out of him. Then, he actually doesn't just bust out one flash kick, but two flash kicks. Okay, that might be the most ridiculous kick in movie history. So Guile finishes him off and basically tells his soldiers that the war is over. But then suddenly these computers boot up and start bringing Bison back to life. So their battle continues, except now Bison can fly. And just before he finishes off Guile, he gives the worst speech ever.
For I beheld Satan as he fell from heaven like lightning!
This could possibly be the most horseshit ending of all time.
Bison, you're off the air.
Wait, what did he just say?
Bison, you're off the air.
Bison, you're off the air? After that line, this is the most horseshit ending of all time. So Guile tries to rescue Blanca, but Blanca won't go with him because he feels he's too much of a freak. So this old man decides he's going to adopt him? Whatever, doesn't really matter because the place fucking explodes with them inside of it still. Well, the Allied Nations wins the war and the Street Fighters unite to congratulate each other. And that's Street Fighter! So what are my final thoughts on this piece of shit? Well, where the Hulk was too serious, Street Fighter wasn't serious enough! Van Damme is just crust in this. It has way too many subplots you just don't give a rat's ass about, and some of the characters don't even look like the characters from the game. The fact is though, it did come from a game, and the video game is just you fighting a bunch of guys one-on-one. It's not like they had a lot to work with. And Raul Julia in this is just hilarious. The movie's just worth watching to hear his one-liners. He's awesome. I give it 2 sexy chicks who can kick ass out of 10. Stay tuned next time for... Like us on Facebook.com/Neckbeard Reviews. And please click the button below to subscribe.